Welcome, everybody. My name is Daisy Correa, and I am the CEO with the Homeless Leadership Alliance. New to the role, but not new to Pinellas County itself. I have worked with the county for quite some time under St. Vincent de Paul Cares. I was a chief of program services there, working with veteran programs and non-veteran programs as well. So I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the system and also the providers on the call as well. So nice to be here. I know Victoria already mentioned to please put your names and where you're from, your titles on the chat so we can make sure that we have the list of everybody. Thank you for that. So just kind of going over the agenda during this evening session, we were going to have the opportunity to really listen in on some critical information and resources available to our neighbors who are experiencing or at risk of homelessness within our county, within Pinellas County. So some of the presenters that we're going to have today is Metropolitan Ministries, whose Metro Brigade Mobile Outreach Team provides vital resources to people experiencing homelessness. Healing Pinellas, one of our CoC newest members, Healing Pinellas helps connect people across Pinellas County to important resources and helping clients complete necessary applications as well. We also have our Personal Enrichment through Mental Health Services, also known as PEMS, who provides emergency mental health services, other necessities such as food, clothing, support through programs such as family services initiatives. And also we have the Florida Dream Center, and they are an agency that provide a number of resources that include documentation readiness, workforce development, and also resources to food. So after today's presentation, there will be an opportunity for CoC providers to answer any questions. So make sure that you are putting your questions in the chat. And I know Victoria and I will kind of go through those later. So there is a Zoom box for a Q&A. So please click on that. And also, we encourage participation and make sure that we share community resources towards the end of the meeting so that, we can have those also available. And hopefully we can adjourn at 6:30. So this is really important as well. I wanted to share this. So just making sure that you renew your membership or become a member of our Pinellas Continuum of Care, or CoC. So our individual membership fees have been reduced to $20. We also have scholarships and a sliding scale fees as well that are available to organizations and individual members. So we really do appreciate all of the feedback that you've been giving us recently. So we've also added 2 new recent membership types, which is youth advocates and also grassroots organizations, to ensure that everybody has the opportunity to participate and also work on ending homelessness within our county. So you can also go ahead and visit our Pinellas homeless.org / Pinellas CoC, or email Victoria Kelly as well. Next slide, please. Okay, so this is our 3rd session, and there's 8 informational sessions throughout the CoC that are being hosted this year. So future sessions are listed on the PowerPoint, and it also will cover topics such as youth, families, seniors, veteran services, housing services, CoC board, and election information as well. So make sure that you go and don't miss our next CoC membership meeting that is hosted at the Pinellas County Housing Authority on August 13th. And also please make sure that you can use your phone to scan the QR codes also on the meeting on that slide, just if you need more details. Okay. So today we're going to learn about very important resources that are available to the people that are currently experiencing and facing homelessness within our county. So as the presentations are going, feel free always to submit your questions. Presenters may have about a couple of minutes at the end of their presentation to answer maybe a couple of questions if that you may have. So if you do have those questions, please make sure to put them there and we'll make sure to answer or ask those questions as they finish the presentation. Thank you. So today's materials for this meeting will be shared via email. The materials will also be available on the HLA website. And you can just click on the HLA calendar and click on the events, on today's events, and it will show you the information session. And also you can scan the QR codes on your screen to get that information as well. And thank you, Victoria, for all the cute little QR codes. Okay. So now I would like to introduce our first presenter. So it's Lucero Hernandez from Metropolitan Ministries Brigade Mobile Outreach Supervisor. I don't know if Lucero is on.
Hi, Daisy.
Lucero?
I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
There you go. All right, Lucero, you've got 15 minutes or yours.
Alrighty, I will do my best to get all the information out there as easily as possible and as quick as possible. So again, I'm Lucero. I work with Metropolitan Ministries and I am part of the Brigade Mobile Outreach team. And this is just a little bit of an overview of all the programs that Metropolitan Ministry has in Pinellas County. So we're going to start off, of course, with the Metro Brigade, just because that's my program. Next slide. Perfect. So we are a mobile outreach team. We go out, we do street outreach, and we try to engage with folks that are currently experiencing homelessness. Our primary focus is on individuals without minors in the household. However, I am able to take those phone calls, especially if they need assessments and stuff like that. So, but my team specifically focuses on individuals. Some of the resources that we provide, of course, are those housing assessments, making sure that they get referrals, whether it's to Safe Harbor, Pinellas Hope, or any other partnering agency in the community that can assist and help with the services that they're looking for at that time. If they've never had an ID before, we are able to provide them with an ID voucher. If they've never had an ID in the state of Florida, we can definitely assist with obtaining a birth certificate to make it an easier process to get their state ID. My team also focuses on applying folks for food stamps and Medicaid. We are SOAR certified as well, so we are able to assist with Social Security benefits for disability. We don't work with retirement, so just the disability portion of it. However, those referrals right now are very, very limited just because of the size of the team that I have currently. And like I said, we just go out there, we do street outreach, we engage with folks, we see what the needs are and how we can help connect them with those individuals, or excuse me, those agencies that are already providing those services, right? We're not here to reinvent the wheel. That is not what we want to do. We want to just make sure that folks are getting the information that they need to get out of that that homeless crisis at that time. Right now, my team is set up at about 9 different meal sites, and we'll talk about those meal sites in a future slide, but we are set up at 9 different sites throughout Pinellas County. We provide services there, and at every single site that we set up at, there is a hot meal served for folks to come and enjoy a hot meal, get a little bit out of the elements, cool down, and of course, get connected to the different services that we can provide them. One thing that does make us a little bit different than other street outreach teams is that we are able to go everywhere throughout the Pinellas County. So we're not restricted to just a specific city or a specific zone. As long as it's in Pinellas County, my team is able to go out to that location and engage with folks. We also have 2 other teams in Pasco and Hillsborough that we can make sure they get connected to if they're not in Pinellas County. Next. So you see the hotline number there. That is for anybody that is not able to get to one of the meal sites where we provide services at. They can always contact us via our hotline. And that hotline is monitored. Of course, if we don't answer, it's because we're probably at a meal site or we're with a client at that time and we don't want to take away from their time. So just leave us a message. And we'll do our best to get that call back to you as soon as possible and get you the assistance that you're looking for. My contact information is here. If you know of any areas that we should be going out to or we should be setting up at, please let me know. We are looking to continue to expand where we're doing those services. Next slide. Okay, I don't think Lauren is here. Yeah.
I am here,
Oh,
Lucero.
she's here. Yay. Lauren, do you want to take that away?
Yeah, sure. You can already go to the next slide, but my name is Lauren Smith, and I'm the Associate Director of Community Collaborations for Metropolitan Ministries in Pinellas County. And my main role is to oversee the Neighbor Hope project in Pinellas County. And what that is an initiative that started after zip codes were pulled throughout all three of the counties, so Pasco, Hillsborough, and Pinellas, and to find those areas of high need. So we have 3 zip codes of high need in Pinellas County, 3 in Hillsborough, and 2 in Pasco. And what we can do for those living in those areas is we can offer prevention assistance. So assistance with rent, utility, mortgage, that move in, first and last month, unfortunately not the deposit or several other costs, but we also offer case management in those zip codes. And then for Pinellas County, the zip codes that we have more financial assistance available is for 33712, 33705, and also 33755, which is in Greenwood and Clearwater. You can go ahead to the next slide. Oh, and that is our team that is slowly growing in Pinellas County. Jalen Robinson is my supervisor, and he oversees all 3 counties with the Neighbor Hope project. Then there's myself, and then my 2 case managers, Stephanie and Irma. Stephanie works in South St. Pete, and Irma is based out of Clearwater. And then Ron is my new navigator, and I should be having another navigator start soon to oversee Clearwater because we have a lot of need in that area as well. Next slide. Oh, and this is our culinary arts program, which is also based out of Pinellas County because it is now being offered out of the Tropicana. So it's a great program. It's got rolling start dates, so people can apply to this program at any time of the year. They're always accepting applications. And as you can see here, they have several weeks of training, and then they'll also have paid on the job training and have the options of working at the Trop for the games and the things that they do there. And most of them do get placed in a restaurant that is partnered with us somewhere in St. Pete. Okay, and the next I think is our meal site. Yes, and our meal site program is doing great, and we're still looking to grow. I think Lucero spoke a little bit about it. Her team, the brigade, is often located at the meal sites. And what is really great about our meal sites is that we don't want it to be they come in and get food to leave, but we set it like a restaurant and we serve them. So we want them to come and have community, sit together, and have the brigade team there if those are the needs that they need met, or my team as well. And there are, I think, 12 sites in Pinellas County at the moment.
Yeah.
But we're definitely growing. We're looking for other partners. Many times churches are the ones that can offer that space to sit and commune and eat together. But we're open to any partners. And I think Tatiana's contact information is there, and she would be the one to reach out if you would like to be a partner. And I think that is it. Yes. That is our QR code to get to the website. But I can leave in the chat or in an email, I can give our referral form for anybody that you want to refer to the Neighbor Hope Project in Pinellas County. So if you know anybody in those 3 zip codes that I mentioned, which I'll also put in there, they can, we can refer them for that rent utility needs.
And I'll also put in the chat how you can get registered for the emails from the brigade. That way you can get the calendars from all 3 counties and you see what's going on. And then the meal sites also has an email, so we can make sure that we get you added onto that so you know what's going on with our meal sites as well.
Absolutely. They have a newsletter that they go out every
Fantastic. Yeah.
That is wonderful.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There were a couple of questions in the chat that
Okay.
I wanted to read off. So Miss Teresa Jones was asking, what is the age for the culinary training program?
It is 18.
Minimum 18.
Thank you very much. And then also Miss Tracy Teeny was asking, can you please repeat the zip codes that you had mentioned previously?
Yes, for the Neighbor Hope Project in Pinellas County, it is 33705, 33712, which is where you can also find us in Pinellas County. We're at the Sanderlin Center. And also 33755, which is Greenwood and Clearwater.
Thank you very much. Were there any other questions for Metropolitan Ministries? All right. Well, if you come up with any questions, please don't forget to put them in the Q&A box. And then, Lucera, did you have anything else you'd like to add?
I think that's it for now. I'll drop some more information in the chat as well.
Okay. Anthony Gonzalez, were you asking about the rent program? Did you want to come off mute and ask a question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Yeah, how does one access the rent program to get information about it for the clients?
I will put that. I mean, you can find us on the website. I'll put our brochure in there as well. You yourself as a partner could refer directly, or I'll also attach the application.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
There was another question as well, Victoria, I believe from Ms. Baker, requesting information on looking for housing and where they can get assistance.
Yes, we really rely on the resources that are available in the community. We don't have housing in Pinellas County like we do in Hillsborough County yet through Metro. So all we can do is, rely on our partners and see what's available. But we can offer help looking for housing, but we don't have any housing available to put people in.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have our next presenter?
Very much. All right. Next, we have. Yeah, go ahead, Daisy.
Yeah. So next we have Healing Pinellas, and we have Rick Cipriani, Director of Community Outreach, and I believe Cassandra Carson, Director of Operations, will be presenting today on their agency and resources.
Good afternoon. My name is Rick, and I'm sorry we didn't have a PowerPoint set up for you folks, but it won't be ready till Friday. I apologize. So this may sound a little scripted because it is. Anyway, so again, my name is Rick Cipriani. I'm one of the co-founders and directors of Healing Pinellas. Healing Pinellas was founded in 2022. We discovered while doing dual enrollment insurance the need for senior citizens to either increase their income, or people weren't aware they qualified for Medicaid or even food stamps. So reaching out to these folks and trying to discuss, you know, what their needs were, we ended up finding out a majority of them didn't even know they were supposed to get Medicare, let alone Medicaid. So we started doing more and more food stamps, and my boss was just like, this need is just so huge. Maybe we should get involved in helping everybody with food stamps. So eventually we started doing food stamps for homeless people. We offer uh, phone service once they get approved for food stamps. You know, the Affordable Connectivity Program, getting a free phone now from the government is not existent. We're waiting for that vote to come in to hopefully reestablish that program, especially for homeless people who don't have access to computers or phones. So for us just to give them a list of resources is kind of redundant. So they come to our office. We offer the food stamp enrollment, Medicaid enrollment. We can direct them to where to do their Medicare programs. But one of the big things we're really focused on now is not only the homelessness, but we're seeing a lot of addiction out there and mental illness. So we do have a referral. We can refer to Suncoast. I can help someone get into Turning Point if that's something they desire to do. You know, we have a wonderful staff that's empathetic, caring. And for me personally, I understand what being homeless is like only because actually 2 days from now will be my 1 year anniversary of not being homeless for many years through bad decisions, lack of resources, frustration. I mean, I always found being homeless was finding resources while being homeless is a full-time job, and it can get very frustrating. So we decided to implement a navigator that would actually sit down with someone, find out what their wants are, what their needs are, and do the work for them. They can sit back in our office and have a cup of coffee and a snack, and we're going to make phone calls, see what's available. We all know how these resources are there, but they're very difficult to get into. Sometimes they're not in an immediate area, and they don't, you know, they don't fit immediate needs for everybody. You know, we find
Oh, Rick, you went on mute there.
how long ago? What did you miss? The whole thing?
Just a few seconds.
Yeah, just a few
Okay, good.
seconds.
I'm so sorry. I have this wonderful computer here that I guess if I tap it wrong. Anyhow, so again, what we did find that being homeless and having the stress of trying to find resources while you're out there is extremely difficult. So they can come in our office, have a snack. We'll make phone calls. I work closely with April White. I can usually get them in, you know, within a week or so, getting them into Pinellas Hope. If they need detox, I can try. It's hard to get into again, Turning Point, but I can try my best to get them in there or other programs. The other thing that we're kind of playing on this rehab and things like that is we do the Affordable Care Act insurance, which is formerly Obamacare. And with that insurance, you can go into a rehab. I know there's one in, I want to say Bradenton that's taking certain ACA insurances, and they're kind of working with people with co-pays and things like that. And I think they're thrilled that they're actually getting money for some of these things. So that's been really important. Senior citizens right now, when we first started the nonprofit, we saw a huge increase of a lot of seniors facing homelessness. I've seen in our office anyway, a decrease in these folks, and we're thrilled to be able to offer some insight as to how you can increase your income just by getting an insurance. You know, we do offer dual enrollment situations. We have some insurance companies that can help increase someone's salary or income by $350 a month. That's a lot of money for someone who's making $990 a month in Social Security. So these are things we have a separate department or the actual access center that will assist with that. And a lot of people are finding this resource life-changing. Another thing we just started, we're getting ready to implement is a resource where seniors can get together and possibly share an apartment or a home, being secure. I don't know, we were thinking about maybe something like, not so much the Golden Girls, but kind of labeling on it, because it could be a lot of fun, you know, and they can help take care of each other. We're located on 66th Street North in Kansas City. And I just recently, like 2 weeks ago, found out Kansas City has a mayor. I didn't even know. So we're trying to set up a meeting with her to see if we can get more voice out there in governmental assistance, or just getting our name out there, period. And just today we have partnered with Pinellas Park Library. They opened up a little office, and we're going to be able to go in there and get people in the library at that moment, go in and get them services like food stamps. Hopefully we're going to have, if the affordable connectivity program gets into play, we'll have somebody there doing on-site phones for them. Also helping people, seniors, basically doing needing housing, getting them into some of the waiting list for the new buildings that are going up here, Bear Creek Commons and the old Ed White Hospital. All have waiting lists, but rather than have somebody go out and do that for themselves, we do it for them. So anyway, this thing we're doing with the Pinellas Park Library, pretty cool. They got that office space. We're going to be there starting Wednesday, the 29th of this month. And for the month of June, every Wednesday, we're going to be there from 1 to 3. A little bit more about our staff. Our staff, I would say a good 30–40% of our staff have experienced homelessness or addiction in some point of their lives. And you know, we get together and we have meetings on what we can do for people and what we can't do for people. You know, we know the way out, but we can't hold your hand through it. So when people come in for services on our end, what we do is we're very realistic on the wait times, how long this is going to take, but this is going to take your involvement. And I'll help you any way I can, but I can't do it all for you. I'm getting a lot of feedback from the homeless community now, how frustrating it is for them, especially in St. Pete area. They're feeling kind of ostracized, of course. They're not feeling any love, and that's what they get. And when they come into our office, that's the first thing we try to offer someone is hope. And we're really trying to get on board with other agencies, trying to find out what it is we can do with a phone call, getting somebody else on board. You know, we love working with other agencies because we have some resources that maybe they're not aware of that we've dealt with and had really good experiences with. So we love sharing those resources. If someone calls up and says, you know, right now we have a woman that this is 2 weeks ago, her and her 2 children, 6-month-old and 2-year-old. Boyfriend threw them out. It's boyfriend's house, and they were his 2 kids. Anyway, we ended up getting her into a shelter type situation through April White. And basically, again, being 2 years old, we're still testing the water, so to speak, on what we could do. We want to do so much more, but without funding, of course, that can be kind of difficult. So we're going to try getting out into the community through Pinellas Park Library. We are starting up a community outreach service that can go out and maybe even transport people to the office or just get information on what their needs are. That's where we're at right now. Again, the important issues, again, the food stamps, Medicaid, dual enrollment insurance, ACA insurance, where the food pantries are, where to get clothes, you know, where to take showers. This mobile unit that's going around for community showers is quite amazing, and I've sent a couple people that way, and their experience was really great. So I'd love to be more involved in things like that, even on a volunteer basis. We have a couple people that are really interested in that. So I didn't have the PowerPoint, and before I start stuttering and stammering and going way off into the wilderness, I can kind of end here. I do have more information on our website. You can contact me. I'll put my email address in here if anyone's interested in anything my organization can do for your organization or vice versa. It would be really great. So that'll be it for me.
Thank you so much, Rick. We really do appreciate all the information that you
You're
provided to
welcome.
us.
Thank you.
Victoria, are there any other questions that we missed?
There was. Helen Rhymes with the City of St. Pete asked in the Q&A, Rick, what addresses are you using for our unhoused neighbors to obtain a phone?
Well, at 4400 66th Street, and the only reason I use our own office is because the people that are doing phones in my office have been vetted. We've done background checks on them. These are not someone you're going to meet outside of Walmart or at a bus stop. These people are here. They've been continuously coming to our office to do phones for quite some time. Right now, the way the ACP program works is you can't get a new government phone, but if you have a phone, they can give you a SIM card for the free service. There's a little loophole in there they discovered. So coming in, if they have a phone, I have some phones that were surrendered to me since the government stopped doing the phones. I've had some family members, friends donate phones that may be compatible with this, and we can just get that SIM card in there in the phone itself, and they've got free phone service. So that'd be 4400 66th Street in Kansas City, 33709. And again, we're going to be at Pinellas Park Library, hopefully doing the phones, and that is 7770 52nd Street in Pinellas Park. So hopefully you can find us there. Again, I do stress the fact that we did do background checks only because we were finding people were getting a free phone and people telling these folks that they didn't qualify and selling that phone with free service. So that was something we really didn't want to get involved with. So my director said, this is all we're gonna do backgrounds on these folks, and they're legitimate. They are there a lot of the time. Sometimes they have someone out sick or something, but majority of the time they're there, and it's brick and mortar. They can come to our door and pretty much get the service they need.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Daisy, I am not seeing any other questions. We do have about
Wonderful.
1 more minute though for Rick, if anybody does have one. All right, there will be more opportunities at the end to ask questions. So if you do, one did just come up. Helen Rhymes says, Rick, interesting, and I'm glad you have found a way, the 1 phone per address.
Yeah.
Yes, wonderful.
I'm always here for you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. If you have any other questions for Rick, please don't be afraid to put them in the Q&A because we will do another question and answer session at the end of all of this.
Okay, thank you. So I believe we have our next presenter. Thank you, Rick. Is there a PowerPoint or are we just waiting for them? Okay, here we are. So we now have Dolores Rafa from FSI, Program Manager with PEMS. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Sorry, I keep getting disconnected for some reason. So if it goes out in the middle of me talking about PEMS, I apologize. But yes, my name is Dolores
Technology.
Rafa. I know. I am a program manager for PEMS with the FSI program. And I'm just going to talk about multiple programs that PEMS has. PEMS stands for Personal Enrichment Through Mental Health Services. We have been around since, I believe, 1986. I've been with PEMS for about 14 years with FSI. Okay, so if you want to go to the next one, there we go. Okay, so currently PEMS has 2 campuses. We used to have one down in St. Pete by St. Vinny's, but we sold that building. So our main campus is in Pinellas Park off of 58th Street. And that is where we have our crisis stabilization unit. That is for children and adults that are showing signs of being a danger to themselves or others and have been Baker acted or put on hold for 72 hours. So, and to be Baker acted, you're either brought there by the police officers or a licensed professional can sign off. You can also have yourself, you can walk in and admit yourself for assistance. Main campus also has the emergency services program where anybody can call into PAMS 24/7 if you're in crisis. If you want to talk to someone, it's a suicide hotline as well. It's just really kind of the go-to number to call. And even if that's not the right number to call, PAMS has a philosophy that there is no wrong entry. So as long as you get a hold of somebody at PAMS, they will redirect you and connect you to the correct type of program that that you're looking for, that you need help with. Let's see. Then there's the Mobile Crisis Response Team. So the Mobile Crisis Response Team, MCRT, this was created due to constant calls of people in crisis in the community that needed someone to help them right then and there or come on location. They provide counseling, case management, resources and referrals. So you can call them. And at the end of this slide, the contact numbers for all of these programs are listed. You can also find all of this on our website, which is pems.org. So Mobile Crisis Unit, the response team is for adult children, and school system for someone to come out when a child in crisis. Okay, and then after that, we have the PIC team, which is the Pinellas Integrated Care Team. That is in conjunction with the Sheriff's Department, some co-centers, and that program are for high users of the crisis unit or folks that call 911 constant issues or needs happening. So that program is for adults, and that's funded through the Sheriff's Department. And that's where the referrals come from as well. We have JARFA main campus. That is for youth under the age of 18 or protect through the court system because there has and then our impact who are all crisis
Dolores, you're cutting out there, unfortunately.
related. Can you hear me?
Cutting out there, unfortunately. Are you with us,
Oh, no.
Dolores?
Oh, I'm trying.
Okay, I can hear you. I can hear you.
You can hear me now? I'm sorry. I
Yes.
don't know what's going on. I'm just
You're
having
okay.
some connectivity issues. Can you hear me? Can you go to
Yes,
the
we
next
can hear
slide,
you.
Victoria?
Absolutely.
Perfect. All right. So the next slide talks about our Palm Way campus, which is located in Largo off of Almerton. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. On Palm Way, this is where we pretty much house the non-crisis family and community programs through PAMS. So on Palm Way, which again is located in Largo, is the Family Service Initiative, FSI, which is the program that I assist with running.
We lost you again, Dolores.
Um,
Sometimes turning off the video option helps. Maybe try doing that and see if that would help.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, that's
Can
better.
anybody hear me? Okay. I'm sorry about that again.
It's okay.
All right, so there's FSI, who we're partnered with Juvenile Welfare Board and Gulf Coast Jewish Families. And to get screened for that program, you would call 727-888-HELP. And that is also listed at the end of the slide. We assist with rent, mortgage, utilities, needs, and resources and referrals to the community. And you have to have minor children in the home that you have custody of and be within
Oh, we lost you again, Dolores. The last thing we heard was there has to be minor children in the household.
250.
No, we
I'll
lost
try
you
this.
again.
Am I back?
Yes, you sound much better.
Okay, I'm sorry. I took one of my screens off, so maybe that was causing it. Okay, so minor children in the home under the age of 18 that you have custody of and within the 250 percentile poverty level. We also have United Way programs on Palm Way, one of them being Largo Strong, which is funded through the city of Largo. You have to live within the city limits in order to qualify for that program, and that assists with sustainability and credit building. And then we also have our Building Strong Families. And then we have 2 navigators that are located at resource centers, one in Greenwood, and the other one is down by John Hopkins at the Campbell Park Resource Center. And that's all through United Way funding. And they can also help with resources, referrals, and some utilities. And then depending on how much rent, it is a limited resource. Then the other 2 programs on our campus are BNET and CAT. Those are both minor therapeutic programs. BNET is funded through Kid Care, generally CMS Kid Care, where you're on the low copay. And then CAT is funded through the state with DCF, and that is intensive wrap services for minors before they would go into a facility. So they're wrapped with a psychiatrist, a therapist, a mentor, a case manager, and they're seen consistently through the month to try to prevent them from going into any type of residential facility. Okay, next slide, Victoria. Okay, these are the contact for those services. I also sent Victoria some flyers regarding our programs with PEMS. So she'll be sending those out as well. And then the next slide, please. So on Palm Way, we also have a donation center. It is completely free to the community. We do not charge for anybody to come there to find items. There is a limit of how many items you can take out of each store within Marketplace. However, we help with clothing for women, children, men, teenagers, babies. We also have books, housewares, food, diapers. The days and times are listed. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You go to Building C, you ring the doorbell, and there's 2 extremely nice ladies that are running Marketplace. And they will try to help you with what they can. So you can just show up anytime, send your clients anytime. And, if we have it, if we have the size, because we're all based on donations. So if we have it, then we can assist you with it. We can provide it to you. Next one. All right, and then just as the last piece, PEMS is going through a rebranding process. So within the next few months, we will have a different name and we'll have a different look to us. We are building a brand new children's unit on our main campus for the crisis stabilization unit. So we are expanding. PEMS is trying to come into the 21st century out of the 80s, since we are, an older agency that's been around for a while. But within a couple months, you'll start seeing a new logo. It'll be a big reveal. So I just wanted to let everybody know that we will no longer be PEMS at some point. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Yes, the thrift store is on, let's see, I got questions and answers. Yeah, for some reason it is showing black on the slides. I don't know why. Victoria, do you see that?
Yeah, I was wondering if it was my computer, but I guess there's something that's blocking it. We can probably take a snapshot of it and put it on the chat.
Okay. But Marketplace is located at the Palm campus. That address is 1614 Palm Way, Largo 33771. And you'd want to go to building C. There's a flagpole in front of that building. So you can't miss it. But it is, the certain times and the certain days that are listed on that flyer that I know Victoria is going to be sending out to everybody. So I think that's the end of my presentation. I'm sorry about all the cutting in and out.
It's okay.
But does
So
anybody
I think Victoria is having some computer issues, so I guess it's happening all around. But we did have one question from Colette Clark with Florida Dream Center. Wants to know if PEMS offers detox services.
No, they do not. That would be through PAR.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I see any other questions in the Q&A for Dolores. I don't believe I see any other ones. Look at the chat, make sure I
I
caught
see.
everything. Are those services available to all in Pinellas County? That's from Jennifer.
Yes, they are, Jennifer. Anybody in Pinellas County. And it's especially for the crisis unit and the community mental health services for crisis. It's not based on your ability to pay or your insurance. So I'm talking about the crisis programs on main campus. Those are available to everyone in Pinellas County. And you can call, there's the hotline 24/7 that anybody can call into, suicide hotline, mental health crisis, anything, and there'll always be someone there to talk to.
Oh yes, like I'm definitely I gotta go 10 stars to PIMS, especially for their crisis hotline, their PIC team. I've dealt with them a lot and I need to make a review for you guys. So
That would be
thank you for what you did.
fabulous. I'm so glad
Absolutely.
they were able to help. That's fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. Like the PIC team, what was it? The PIC team. And also I've been referred to services for seniors. Yeah, I've had the crisis mobile unit come out in the past 3 years. So, but yeah, thank you for what PIMS does.
Absolutely.
The crisis lifeline is my lifeline, for sure.
That
So
really makes me happy to hear that. I'm so glad that they were able to help.
absolutely.
Yeah, I'm not on that campus, but I know the work that they do for the crisis side of our agency. They really, are
I
the
could name some
heartland and they're
names,
really
but
working hard.
I'll let y'all continue with the I just wanted to let that be known.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
Florida Dream Center, and we have Colette Clark, who will be presenting.
Hi.
Hello, I apologize for that.
No worries. All right, so I'm not I'm super anxious about speaking to like anybody, so I apologize if I talk really fast. So basically, the Florida Dream Center is a nonprofit that serves Pinellas County, but we have a real focus on Lealman and Tarpon Springs. We have 4 main programs. I'm going to touch on all of them and kind of focus on the resident advocacy. I am the sole case manager there. I it, I really enjoyed seeing everybody else's presentation because I hear a lot of the same stuff from different organizations, and it makes me feel good that there's all sorts of places trying to help do the same thing. We clients can come into the office. We're open Tuesday through Saturday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, they can come in and get food, clothing, hygiene, and they can also come into the case management room for other stuff. We could do food stamps, phones, excuse me, blue card. And then a lot of it is just finding the resources that they need and referring them to other places. I love the HLA website resource. I'll print out whole sections of that for people so they have it. But the second program we have is our mobile food bank. We distribute food within Pinellas County to in 4 stationary sites on Saturdays, our main day. We do over 350 food boxes. So 350 families get food on Saturday. And we have 3 sites in St. Pete and 1 in Tarpon. And basically Saturday is our like our get out of the office day. We come in at 6 a.m. and we put all these food boxes together, and then we all go out to the sites and just give them out. And I like that, as long as you have an ID and you know your name and your address, that's the only requirement. We don't have income requirements. We don't have there's just no requirement. We'll give you food as long as you have a place. And if you don't have a home, we have what we call ready to eat meals in bags for people. The third program is our work readiness training program. It's we partner with a lot of like the PERC or the the DOC, Department of Corrections. And we are a NCC, they can get their I'm sorry. We are an NCCER accreditation, which means we're able to train and certify individuals for core construction and carpentry level 1 through the National Center for Construction Education and Research. And so once they go through that, they're certified on the forklift, they've got their construction stuff, they are employed. And one of the employers actually says he's got a 90% retention rate with hiring from our programs, which I think is amazing. And then our last program is our Adopt a Block program, which is kind of what started everything for us. We have, which will on Saturdays, giving out the food is part of that, but we also have our neighborhood outreach crew. We go out and we pick up, we don't, we try not to be so intrusive. So we'll go and we'll pick up garbage and stuff on the side of the road. And if we see people, we'll talk to them, we'll give them flyers, try to get them to come to us so we can help them. And then we have our community enrichment crew. They do, they clean up debris. We cut down trees. I mean, we clean out alleys. And we work with the code enforcement to try to alleviate some of those violations for people. A lot of our older clients who can't do those things, can't get out there and cut their own lawn, will do that. Yeah, that's our 4 programs. So I really like what Rick said, just letting them know that they're loved. Like I literally, there's many, many clients that say, "Oh, I love you." You know, it's just the sweetest thing. Like, you make somebody feel loved. You give them what, you just find out what they need today and try to help. Oh, you know what I missed? Yes, the custom printing and embroidery. It's part of our workforce training. It's going to be it's a 6 to 12 week work experience within. So we have a t-shirt shop. We do screen printing and embroidery. And all of the income from that goes right back into the programs. So we have 6 to 12 week work experience for people to kind of get them back into the, what am I trying to say? To help them, okay, basic soft skills, on the job training, and just kind of give them a skill set that they can then go on and utilize. I started in the t-shirt shop. That was the first place that I worked. And then I got moved around a bit, but yeah, that's about it.
Wonderful, thank you. Any questions?
There
Trying
were
to-
There were a couple of questions, Daisy. So we had one question from Sabina with Celebrate Outreach, who wanted to know what we meant by resident.
Well, our clients, it's just they're residents of the neighborhood, really. You know, we don't have like we don't have people that live there, but just anybody who is a client of ours, we refer to them as residents.
Wonderful, thank you. And then also, Tina asked where Florida Dream Center is located in Tarpon.
So on Saturday, our Tarpon crew is at St. Timothy's on Tarpon Avenue. It's behind the Publix, and I don't know the exact address. I think it's like 812 Tarpon Avenue, but it's St. Timothy's Church, and they'll pull up with a truck full of food and feed 75 people or 75 families. So a really interesting number I found out today, 2023, we gave out almost 2 million pounds of food, but the exciting part is that that's 11,000 families that got fed. I just think that makes it so much more impactful than saying 2 million pounds of food.
That is fantastic. Are there any other questions for Colette in the Florida Dream Center?
I don't think I saw any on the chat that I might have missed. No? Okay. So thank you to all the presenters today. We really do appreciate all the information, and sorry for the technical glitches. I apologize. So now it's time to do some Q&A. If you have any questions that you may have for the general group or for any of the providers that presented today, please go ahead and ask away. You can also raise your hand and we can call on you or look at the questions that you have in the Q&A box.
Yeah, I'd like to just mention one thing, Daisy. Can you hear me? Hello, this is Cal.
We can hear you.
Yeah, I just want to mention that I have a website called itjobskills.org, and we teach job seekers IT skills, particularly everything from using Zoom to Microsoft Office, and also some of the new AI stuff like ChatGPT. And I'm very happy to see that, a lot of the folks that are suffering from, financial duress are coming on Zoom, but there's a lot more that we could provide. We could provide some instruction on using either a Zoom format or something, once a month or maybe a couple times a month, even on demand. So I'd like to just see if there's any interest. It's called itjobskills.org. And I can try to put that in the chat.
Wonderful. Thank you, Cal. I know we spoke when we were at the Lived Experience Advocacy Committee. So thank you so much for being here as well.
Yeah, I've actually been developing software with some folks in India. And so I have a team that, can assist me with a lot of this stuff. And we can teach some advanced courses also.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
There is a question in the Q&A box, Daisy. I am a survivor of domestic violence, and because of that, I have been homeless for 3 years now. I saved my life, but not sure if it was worth it because I cannot find housing. It is frustrating that you are told you don't have to do it alone, don't stay in a bad situation, but now there is no help. I'm 60, work part-time, and never use drugs. Is there anyone I can speak with? Anyone that has actual helpful information? Daisy, do you have any advice, or do any of our presenters have any advice for this individual?
Yeah, so I know we have domestic survivor assistance through CASA. So I can definitely get your information, Ms. Baker, and we can contact CASA to see if there's any services that we can provide to you as well. That way I can connect you to the resources.
Wonderful. And then also it looks like Miss Baker, a few folks are also dropping some resources in the chat. So please check that out as well. And then also we had a question from Miss Colette Clark, our last presenter, who wanted to ask all of the presenters, and then I think also just the organizations that are here on the call today, does anyone have a reference for parenting classes for parents of teenagers? And I want to say, Colette, actually, yes, I just can't think of them off the top of my head. I think the CoC Center does parenting classes for teenagers. I'm going to pull that up and verify that right now. Are there any other questions or resources to share? Hmm? All right. Oh, yes. Ms. Janine Ivioli, one of our board members, confirmed that the CoC Center does indeed offer parenting classes. Thank you for beating me to that, Janine. I will put their link in the chat in case anybody wants to see that. Anything else? All right, Daisy, I'll give it back to you.
So sorry, I have like 3 different screens going. Okay, so currently right now we'll have some time to do some public comment, or please share any information that you may have. Again, once again, thank you so much to our presenters tonight. We do really appreciate the mission to end homelessness, and we appreciate all of the information that you've provided to us today. And I know it can be frustrating to navigate the system sometimes, and we're trying to do the best that we can to provide that assistance. I know that there was a comment actually on the Q&A box, Victoria, regarding the new camping bill and how that's going to affect our clients. So we are planning a task force that we're going to start on Friday to really look at the gaps that we have within our community, what we have currently available with services, how are we going to brainstorm and find innovative ideas to assist through this new law that's really out of our control, but we want to come together as a community to figure out ways on how to navigate through this and help our clients and our neighbors through this, you know, really challenging time. So hopefully we'll have more questions. Sorry, not questions. We'll have more solutions as we start meeting and start looking at other ways to be able to serve our neighbors and also provide resources and some direction as well. So we'll have to come together as a community to look at that and see what we can do to better serve our neighbors moving forward. So I wanted to make sure that I addressed that question, Victoria. So any other public comment or any other information that anybody wants to share currently?
Ms. Baker did also ask in the chat, how do you help homelessness when there is no help with housing? Daisy, would you like to address that?
Very good question. One of the biggest challenges when I was working as a on the provider side was housing affordability, and that is something that we've struggled with, not just in this community, but just statewide. Some of the things that we've been looking at is home share, roommate type of situations. Sometimes that works better because of the affordability. That could be challenging, but that's something that we look at. We also try to create partnerships with our landlords so that we can continue to work with them and hopefully they can give us apartments and units so that are affordable for our neighbors. So some of those outreaching to our landlords and property managers and always trying to figure out ways that we can work with community property developers, with our housing authorities to see what kind of new developments and new units are out there or affordable housing. So we're always trying to work on different things. I know it may take longer to build or develop a property. That doesn't happen overnight. It usually happens within a year or two, but we do try to make as many connections as possible with landlords. I know HLA has a landlord engagement specialist that is constantly doing education to our landlords. He's out there every single day trying to get our landlords to give us more units and hopefully work with property managers for more affordable housing. That is the challenge. I know there was a question on the chat or a comment saying, affordable housing is a big struggle, and especially with this new law, it's going to make it even a bigger struggle because we don't have as many affordable units as we need within our community. But just continuing that partnership with our current landlords and making new partnerships and looking at sharing units and home share and other programs as well that can assist with some of that housing need. I don't have a clear-cut answer, but it's just a struggle, and we're always looking for ways to make those connections and find more housing. Yes, and funding is one of our biggest obstacles as well. But sometimes we do have funding, but there isn't any space or units available to place that funding in. So that also creates a big barrier and obstacle for us as well.
And then there was also a quick question in the chat, which is okay, Daisy, I'll go ahead and answer. Colette wanted to ask, when somebody submits a request help form through the HLA, will the HLA contact them and let them know if they can't help? Due to capacity issues, our team will reach out within a couple of days if we can assist somebody. But if it looks like we will not be able to assist somebody, at the moment, I do not believe that we have the capacity to reach out to everybody. I apologize. I really wish we did. But we will absolutely reach out to people we can assist. Daisy?
Yeah, yes, and we are looking at expanding our rapid resolution specialist in the near future so that we can gain that capacity. But if we don't connect with our clients, then there's always 211 or other resources too that we could possibly connect them to. But we are looking at possibly adding another rapid resolution specialist to the list, and hopefully we can assist a little bit more with that as well.
Were there any other questions or resources to share, folks?
Yeah. Hey, Victoria, can I ask you a quick question?
Of course.
This is Cal. Yeah. I was wanting to know if there would be interest amongst the unhoused community, the folks that are in this audience, for a SMS-based authentication versus email-based authentication. That means they don't even need an email address. They can use their phone number in lieu of their email address. Does that make any sense to anyone out here? Do you know what I mean by authentication, right? Two-factor authentication, multi-factor authentication, etc.
So through getting a code through your phone or getting a code through your email?
Yeah, and also, in fact, we'd like to replace email with just a phone number. So people can just
Like
give you their phone
everything
number.
comes through.
Pardon me?
Yeah, like, I get where you're coming from, Cal. Like where everything, because like I get a little overwhelmed with like my email, my messenger, like just different things. And if just like a link was to come to my phone as a text, whether it's,
Correct.
you know
Absolutely
what I'm
correct.
saying? You know what I'm
Jennifer.
saying? Is that
Right.
that's what you're trying to do? Because we've talked before,
That's
and
right.
so
Yeah,
I
we
think
mentioned this, I think, right?
trying
Yeah.
to do,
I have a
like,
provisional patent
because
on this technology. I'd like to see if there would be interest. I'd be happy to send it across to send it across to the leadership folks here and you, Jennifer.
yeah, because I've actually went and visited with Cal, and I'm on Medicare, and so I have Medicare and Humana, and um I'm not your typical Medicare person, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not 65, I'm not, I don't look disabled. Um, but I've had conversations with people with Humana, and the one lady, like, she was like, it was such a joy talking to you because, they deal mostly with elderly people, and a majority of the elderly people, like the 70s and the 80s and some 60s and stuff, they're not very savvy when it comes to the like the computer and texting and apps, and so I actually saw his thing, and I think, if he has the technology and he's got the brain for it, to help people, to meet them where they're at, I think that would be something that would be worth discussing with the HLA and the CSC.
Yeah, and we could definitely take this information, Cal, and we can have a discussion and share your resource on our website, and maybe do an information session on our next meeting. That would be great as well. You can share a little bit more about what you're doing and how you're assisting with
That
your
would be great.
program.
Thank you so
Okay,
much. Thank you,
wonderful.
Jennifer. Thank you, Daisy.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. My
appreciate
pleasure.
it very much. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah.
Daisy, Colette does have her hand raised.
Yes, I was going to call on her next. Colette.
So, in response to what he was talking about, the text authentication, my only thought process with that is that I have clients who can't keep a phone for 2 weeks, and I have to get them replacement phones, 5 or 6 times last year. And how would that work if their phone number changed and they'd already, would they?
Yeah, good
Email,
question.
you
Yeah,
save the
what we'd
email.
have is a backup email address as well.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
To go in and like secure it and stuff like that, and be able to get back
Yes. Yeah.
to it.
Mhm.
Yeah, kind of like how you use one email for another email in case you forget your like password and stuff like that. So just like with everything, trial and error. But I just want to say, like, to everybody watching, like, I'm really grateful to be a part of this initiative, this organization, and what everybody stands for. We all have the same heart, and I know that together we can come up with a solution for America, Americans and veterans and children.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everybody, for sharing. We really do appreciate it. I know we still have a couple of minutes. Any other questions, concerns?
Will you be at the meeting, Daisy, on the 23rd?
Remind me again, which one is that? Is that the lived experience, or there's a couple of meetings
Yes,
coming
yes.
up? Yes. I
Okay.
apologize I couldn't be there the last time.
No worries.
But I will make sure that I go in
I
person
missed
this time.
you, the
I'll try,
one
yes,
before.
I'll try to make it.
I look
I
forward to
really
meeting
do try to make all the meetings as possible.
Yeah, awesome.
Also,
Welcome.
just like to mention, yeah, myself and Jennifer have been to a lot of the Clearwater City Council meetings. So I would suggest that anyone that's interested in bringing about change may want to go to their city council meetings, because that's where they can have their voices heard. Right, Jennifer?
Thank you.
I mean, I don't even have to say nothing. Like on the, you see, I don't know if you guys like can see the presentation still, where it says to share, please raise your hand and type in the chat. And I don't know if she's here, but the very first lady with the long hair and the jean jacket and the dress, do y'all see her? Like thumbs up, yes. Like that woman right there should be mayor of city of Clearwater, but that's just my opinion. And she's the reason that I spoke up at city council meetings and went. And Colette, like I understand like how you feel about like being on camera and stuff like that. So y'all can't tell, but I'm very, very this is very, very overwhelming for me. But I didn't realize like how bad it was down here and the stuff that I've had to deal with. We're all human. We don't deserve to be treated like we're not even here.
Well, thank you everybody for your comments. And this, so all of the, thank you again for the presenters tonight. Thank you so much for your comments and your questions. We really do value that. And it's really good to hear things that we can continue to work on and that we can continue to advocate for. As I think we mentioned earlier on the call today, we are recording this session tonight, so you will be receiving that with all of the materials, hopefully in a couple of days. And we will also send out any emails to you. So please do not hesitate to reach out to us if you have any questions. Ms. Baker, I do have that on your chat. I will reach out to you as well. And we will continue to do this great work that we do. And thank you so much for collaborating with us and for being and joining us this evening. We really do appreciate your time. Have a good evening, everybody.
Thank you
Okay,
all.
thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.